PVL fans are in for a treat because we got a repeat of the sweet finals from last season as Choco Mucho and Creamline meet once again in the finals of the PVL All-Filipino Conference. Here to talk about the much-anticipated matchup are volleyball analysts Fille, Cainglet-Cayetano, and King Cruncher is Polvorosa.
Yeah. Sweet naman.
Welcome to the show.
Just like the finals.
Yes.
Before we dive into the details of the Choco Mucho team, Ish, I want to ask your quick thoughts on the game against Petrogas because people were saying, included ako doon, na I thought that makakaisa pa yung Petro because syempre, di ba, hindi naman sila magpapatalo. But eventually, Choco Mucho won that in 4 sets. What are your thoughts on that game?
Oh, well, I think it was Choco Mucho's game to win. They defeated them in 5 sets in the elimination round. Even kahit wala si MJ Phillips, but then yung psychological effect kasi that they won against a team in the eliminations, malaking factor yun eh. And for me, having the CC Rondina, I mean, she exploded in that game. And marami rin tumulong sa kanya eh. I mean, without Kat Tolentino, they had Isa Molde. Royce Tobino was very consistent in all of the semifinals games. So I think it was a total team effort for the Choco Mucho Flying Titans.
So, yun din sana itatanong ko. In relation to that, the eliminations round win is, at bago nun, syempre, yung Creamline win, di ba?
That was,
Taas ng kumpiyansa nila siguro, no?
For sure, si Petrogas, kasi nga medyo controversial nga yung game nilang Petrogas versus Creamline. So, I do agree na may psychological aspect din for Petrogas in this match against Choco Mucho na parang the previous game, there were calls that were questionable and they released a statement nga na parang it could happen A, B, C, D. Pero tapos na yun, pero I bet meron pa ring tira.
May hangover pa ng konti. I mean, it happens to you guys,
every
right?
other day yung games.
Yeah,
So it's really hard to switch agad. But like, I'm sad that Petrogas lost against Choco Mucho. But I'm happy for Choco Mucho and the teammates of CC Rondina for stepping up. In that game nga, syempre si CC naka 32 points. But si Isa Molde actually played well. She scored 18 points and 4 blocks in that point. So parang syempre ma-overshadow. Pero Molde has been steady also in that game and stepped up for the team.
Yeah, I mean, Isa Molde, when you take a look at her numbers, hindi lagi double digits eh. It would always be CC Rondina. But the biggest game changer for me talaga was Royce Tobino. So can you talk about her, Phil? Because it's not an easy task to transition from the left pin to the opposite hitter position, but they didn't have a choice. Wala si Kat Tolentino, and yun na nga yung malaking tanong sa Choco Mucho. Can they go all the way without the second top scorer in Kat Tolentino?
Actually, in the beginning of the season, nung na-recruit si Royce Tobino, I was surprised for Choco Mucho kasi parang anong ipupwesto niya, but then ang dami nangyari sa Choco Mucho, may mga injuries na unwanted injuries ni Cheng and ni Kat Tolentino nga. Pero I feel like Choco Mucho is aware na everybody needs to step up. Everybody needs to be in it kasi nga they know Creamline. They were against them nung All-Filipino Conference last year.
Right.
And this time, it's another chance for them. Yun nga yung fearless forecast ko eh, na sila ulit yung dalawa. Pero for Royce Tobino, you know, it's not surprising, pero I'm happy for her to be stepping up. Kasi nga, aside from CC needs all the help. Even Manny Madayag is also stepping up. Her last game, she scored 11 points. That's a lot for a middle blocker also.
Yeah, we'll talk about her in a bit. I just want to make that little point. Royce Tobino. We really wanted to ask him. We've been talking about this, right? Kaya ba ng Choco without Kat? And Royce has not been able to produce. Prior to that strong group game, na nag-player of the game siya. So even before that semifinals, meron siya. Nag-player of the game siya doon. And then stepped up against Creamline, stepped up against Cherry with 17 points also. But Ish, you and I remember talking about Royce in that Araneta game, the Creamline Choco game. It looked like she really looked nervous in that game. Parang it was her first big game encounter. And parang nawala na ngayon, ano? Even her body language completely different na, no?
To be fair naman with Royce Tobino, for me, this is my personal...
Yes.
That was her only game na parang hindi siya nakadeliver.
Correct, di ba? Parang...
all the other games succeeding that, she performed for Choco Mucho. And she kept on saying in her interviews, kasi napapansin ko, she quote-unquote says na, kailangan ko lang nung buong tiwala. And I think that's what she gained from her teammates and from her coaching staff na pinagkatiwalaan siya ng buo ng teammates niya and ng coaches niya na mag-step up. And that's what she did because, you know, her teammates needed her to step up. And she did.
Definitely.
Napaka-consistent. Lalong-lalo na nitong semifinals.
Last 3 games have been so big. I think Neil nakatulong sa kanya yung kinabahan siya dun sa unang ano eh. Yung parang na-shake off na niya eh. Oh, yun. She needed to experience.
Iba din yung naging role ni Royce Tubino because for most of her career, nasa starting 6 siya eh. So to be able to come off the bench, malaking adjustment yun for a starter. And she just embraced that role. So I do agree with Ish that consistency will be key for Royce Tubino if they want to challenge the Cool Smashers. Ish, you're a setter. So ikaw yung perfect na taong tanungin ko about the Mars Alba effect because she is one of the new pieces in the roster of Choco Mucho. But this is their second finals appearance where most of the time siya rin yung naging starter because meron pang naging injury si Dina Wong. So how has she transformed this squad to become a finalist this season?
Well, for me, she has delivered for Choco Mucho in a way na, for me, hindi kasi siya yung robot na setter eh. Like, yung kapag sinabihan siya ng coach na, this is what you need to do, this is what you gotta do.
Mechanical.
May sarili din siyang discarded. That's what I like about her as well. But at the same time, she has that confidence in her own game that I know I can execute what our coaches want me to do. And she knows who the spiker is that will deliver at the right moment. Pero, I mean, not to take away anything from Dina Wong. Kasi pinapasok-pasok din siya ni Coach Dante, especially this semifinals stint para sa kanila. And I think magandang duo to, yung Mars Alba and Dina Wong. And for me, syempre kailangan pa rin i-improve yung connection niya with the middles kasi that's what Dina Wong has over her for now. And I think in time, with the team, trainings, and crucial games like this, may improve naman yan eh. This is her first conference with Choco Mucho. But so far,
impressive.
She is number 5 in the tournament. Very good performance for her in this All-Filipino Conference.
And she looked comfortable from the very start.
And hindi mahirap yun
Right, I'm sure.
Mahirap yun.
And you would be able to tell that of all people. Nabanggit mo yung middle blockers. Mabigat ito. Yan ang kailangan nila. Dahil nga si Cici, ngayon si Royce, babantayan na yan. So, Cherry Nunag and yung nabanggit mo, Maddie Madea.
I think the middle blockers needs to be activated by Mars Alba. Kasi nga, Creamline knows Cici Rondina and their eliminations game, panay block.
Puro block,
Puro
you're
block
right.
siya. Kasi
3
nga,
sets, no?
the Creamline will just go, the blockers of Creamline will go straight to Cici because they know that the ball's gonna be there 50% of the time. So, I feel like, yun nga, sabi mo nga, si Mars Alba should set more in the middles and Maddie has a mean running attack. And I'm sure yung blockers ng Creamline will also be threatened by the middles if they're activated. And I know the middles can be activated. Kasi may reception naman sila, they have tampons with them, diba? And even Cici is receiving. So, I feel like it's really a team effort, not just Cici, for Choco Mucho.
Na-blow away lang tayo talaga.
Yes, kasi 32 points.
32 points, 29 points, 27 points. Mabigat nga naman. All right. So, we have one part of the story, which is the Choco Mucho Titans who are trying to break through and get their very first title. After the break naman, we will talk about the defending champs, Creamline. Their journey, their toughest journey probably to the finals this year. Stay tuned, you're watching Starting Lineup. Welcome back. Lipat naman tayo sa Creamline, the defending champs, of course. Still with us, Fille, Cainglet-Cayetano, and Ish Polvorosa. Ish, what a conference for Creamline. Twice, and we mentioned this last night here on the show, Neil. Twice their backs were against the wall, must-win situations just to enter the semis, to keep themselves in play for the finals. And yet here they are again, parang making a statement that everybody still has to go through us.
Yeah. Yun yung sabihin ko eh. Sinabi mo na
Sorry.
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 Yun nakikita ko online. Like,
Okay.
if you want to win a championship in the PVL, you have to go through us. And then may picture
Makes sense,
ng Creamline. They are the defending champions. And napakadami na ng pinagdaanan. So for me, I mean, a lot of people tried to count them out, but here they are again, back in the finals, number 4 in the semis, almost did not make it into the Final Four. Pero for me, ito yung pinakamahirap din na pinagdaanan ng Creamline in the last few years. Because the other teams also stepped up.
Yes,
They
agree.
studied them, they prepared well for
Sila yung
Creamline.
standard eh.
Yeah, especially in the elimination round. But pagdating dito sa padulo, alam mo naman parang FTJ itong Creamline, di ba? I mean, may times na parang magpapabugbog muna. Pero pag nagising na, that's their game, lalabas na yung tunay na laro nila.
Kasi sobrang nasanay na sila
Yeah.
yung bubugbog, ganun
Yeah.
ba? Neil, alam mo yung favorite natin din dyan, yung sinabi talaga ni Gemma eh. Doon sa ang sarap maglaro pag may pressure.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, when I hear that, it's like, this is why we love sports, di ba?
Pressure is always part of,
Oo, eh.
lalo na sa volleyball, no? Kasi 1 point can make or break
Exactly.
the game. And Gemma Galanza has been thriving. So, being her former teammate, I want to ask Phil, how do you credit that re-emergence of Gemma Galanza? Kasi in the preliminaries,
Yes.
we saw a lot of Tots Carlos. But in the semifinals, I feel like ito yung explosive numbers na hindi natin nakuha kay Gemma nung first round.
Actually, nung eliminations, nung first game, she wasn't even in the first 6. Kasi nga, I feel like hindi mag-connect pa sila ni Kyle and Gemma with the sets. And yun nga, yung mga fans na galit, nasan si Gemma Galanza. And during her elimination round, parang hinahanap natin yung mga points. Minsan, 10 points lang siya or ano. But like in the semifinals, and knowing Gemma Galanza, she loves the pressure. This is her game, you know. She played internationally, yung mga blockers niya, Australiano na matatangkad. She'll spike the ball. And I heard you comment nga about her spike, that bullet. Yung mga lahat ng palo niya ngayon, if napansin mo, sobrang bilis, sobrang bigat. And even her composure sa serves, maaasahan mo siya sa mga
Yun pa.
crucial points ng rotation na siya magsaserve and then like 24 or match point na yung kalaban, but like Creamline will extend the set and win the set. So I feel like Gemma Galanza is in her game, and even Creamline, I know how driven they are. Parang nung elimination, it was an uphill battle. Kasi nga, for Creamline, kahit 2019 is-scout mo sila, they were in a whole nother level. But the other teams realized na, teka lang, bakit ganun yung level nila? So they all nga stepped up. I agree with Ish. Now that everyone's stepping up, parang nag-level up lahat, nag-level yung playing field. What will Creamline do, diba?
Right,
So
right.
now, you see them, they're playing more efficient, diba? Their spikes they can score off their spikes, even their rallies, they're faster. So I feel like Creamline is slowly or now have their game back.
You know, champions like these, they have to be pushed also,
Yes.
diba? And
Yeah.
that's what's happening to them. Gemma, in numbers, 11 points in the preliminaries. And then 2 semifinal matches, 23 pareho.
Yes.
So just to put it in numbers, talaga, she really says it and does it. When she says, gusto ko maglaro, may pressure. Some people will. She shines, right? Another person who shines, Tots Carlos-ish.
Yeah.
Tell us about her.
Well, this is not surprising for us now. Tots Carlos is Tots Carlos. In the preliminaries, she beat her record, her own record. And eto nahirapan kasi yung Creamline nung first semifinals game because she didn't have her.
She wasn't
She was
around.
in Korea. But then, I mean, I heard pa nga na parang there was some type of, feeling na parang medyo nagigilty siya kasi she wasn't able to help because she was out of the country.
I'm sure.
But insider info. Because we train with them. But then, kasi binawi naman niya.
Oo naman.
Sobra-sobra in their second and third game itong semifinals. And I think for Tots Carlos to step up and help Gemma and Eliza, kasi siya talaga yung bibigyan at pupuntahan ng bola ni Tots eh. I mean, Kyla stepped up big time. Especially kapag alam niya yung connection niya with Tots, mag-work. So it's always there. Yun naman yung maganda sa mga team na alam mong may go-to person kay. Na, I mean, anytime, okay, we need a point. I have to go to her. I have to. So that's Tots Carlos for them. And every time, she delivers for Creamline. Yun naman yung maganda for Creamline. And for Choco, they have CC. So napakagandang matchup.
Ganda ng matchup. Premier matchup
Yeah,
talaga.
I believe Creamline really needed that game without Tots Carlos
Yeah.
because it was also a way to reintroduce the likes of Gemma Galanza, Eliza Valdez,
Michelle Gumabaw.
and they needed to find that confidence back. Kasi pwede at a certain point, nandyan naman si Tots eh, so hindi ko kailangan mag-perform as much. But when they had that game against...
Push comes to
Oo
shove.
nga, walang
Yeah.
choice eh. So everybody stepped up. That's why Creamline is back in the finals.
Yeah.
Phil, I want to ask you about a different aspect of Creamline's composition. Do you think that they have the edge in terms of substitutions? Kasi double subs have been big in the
Crucial.
PVL.
Yes.
And ang laki ng nababago sa tempo ng game. So do you think they have that edge against Choco Mucho?
Well, we know Creamline ever since has a deep bench. We have Gumaba, who was best opposite spiker
Yeah.
in the previous season. And
Sanay mag-start, sanay mag-bench, doesn't matter.
Sanay, she can. You also have Risato, and you have
Who started?
Yeah, started
Diba?
during
During
the semifinals, and you also have Beadel. So I feel like it's a challenge for Coach Sherwin actually to shuffle all the players. And I feel whatever works, depende sa kalaban, they'll know what to do. Kasi knowing Creamline, each and every one of them knows their roles. So
Right.
kung isa-sub ka, diba, to 4-2 sub, Mafe and Gumabaw, they
Yes.
know their roles.
Yeah.
Michelle knows she has to block, and Mafe always gives it to Gumabaw kasi nga fresh legs. And
Right.
you know, it's a team effort. And also for Pons, you still have Pons
Yeah.
in the
Yun,
bench.
oo.
So talagang deep bench.
Nakapalitan ni
Yeah,
Eliza.
Eliza
Then,
Valdez.
tatlong liberos nila. Very
Yeah, tatlong
capable.
liberos pa. And you have Denden Lazaro. Of course, kilala si Choco Mucho, yung
Correct.
defense pattern, yung
Right.
mga tendencies ng mga players. So, I think advantage pa rin yung addition din ni Denden Lazaro and Beadel.
And let's not forget Eliza Valdez.
Eliza Valdez
in
is
the
still Eliza
biggest
Valdez.
spotlight,
Yeah.
always delivers, and that's what happened in the finals last conference. Siya always pinag-uusapan. Last question, ang hindi laging pinag-uusapan ay si Pangs Panaga. At mali na hindi siya pinag-uusapan dahil lagi siyang gumagawa para sa Creamline.
Well, I believe she is the third best blocker in the tournament right now, and I'm gonna call it right now. I think she's gonna win another best middle blocker
There
award
you
this
go.
conference.
Tama lang pala pag-usapan
Yeah,
na.
because she has delivered for Creamline in the blocking department, in the serving department, right? I mean, we always
Pinag-uusapan namin sa TV yan. Yeah.
Off air. Oh my
Right.
God, yung serve na naman ni Pangs.
Correct.
It's so difficult to receive. Kahit panoorin mo lang sa screen, like, oh my God, that's a heavy loaded serve. And yung atake din niya when she wants it, she scores for Creamline. She
Agree.
asks for the
Exactly.
ball. Diba? She knows kailan sobrang perfect nung approach niya and sobrang ganda nung dating ng bola. And she asks for it. And when she does, nakaka-score siya for Creamline. And I think that's an epitome of a perfect middle blocker, especially for a team like Creamline na napakalakas ng floor defense nila.
Yeah.
But then when you need to score a point, when you need to block, you have a middle blocker in Pangs Panaga
Yeah.
that will deliver every time you need her.
Ganda ng finals.
Yeah, I know. I mean, si Pangs
Yeah.
kasi like, may time sabi niya, yung award naman kasi best middle blocker, hindi naman daw best middle spiker.
Spiker. Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
On that
Point.
note,
Point.
on that
Yeah.
note, this is going to be a blockbuster, Neil,
Ay.
the finals.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank
you.
And
Thank you, guys.